This tutorial is for 5th grade, Module 2, Lesson 19. In this lesson, we're going to be dividing by multiples of 10, and we're going to use number bonds to help us do this. The first example is 41 divided by 30. We have a number bond showing a decomposition of 41. The goal is to think of multiples of the divisor, and in this case the divisor would be 30, and try to come up with a multiple of that divisor that's less than the dividend, less than 41. So in this case, 1 times 30 is 30, so that's one part of the number bond. If I take 30 away from 41, that leaves me 11. Now we can see how that helps us with our division. So if I go over to my division boxes, we're seeing how many groups of 30 we can get out of 41. Well, we start by asking how many groups of 30 can I get out of 4? Since I can't get any groups of 30 out of 4, I move the 4 over to the next box. How many groups of 30 can I get out of 41? Well, that would be one group of 30. I'm going to subtract that amount, and I get 11 as my remainder. So my answer is 1 remainder 11. So you can see how that relates back to the number bond. The first circle showed me how many groups of 30 I could take out of 41. The second circle ended up being the remainder. Let's look at another example. This time I have the problem 80 divided by 30. So once again, I'm going to think of my multiples of 30 and see how close I can get to 80. So if I skip counted by 30, I'd have 30, 60, 90. Well, 90 is too much, so we'll go with 60. So that's the first number in the number bond. The leftover amount we can see was 20. That's, again, will help us with our division. So if I go over to my division boxes, I'm trying to see how many groups of 30 I can get out of 80, starting with how many groups I can get out of 8. Well, I can't, so I move the 8 over. How many groups of 30 can I get out of 80? Well, that was 2 groups. 2 times 30 is 60, so I subtract that, and I get a remainder of 20. And just a reminder that your remainder always has to be less than the divisor. So I can still have a large remainder as long as it's less than my divisor. And again, that matches my number bond. The first circle showed how many groups of 30 we can get out of 80. The second circle showed my remainder. This can also work with bigger dividends like 280 divided by 30. So I'm going to think of my 30s, how close can I get to 280? Well, another way to think about this is 30 times a number is similar to 3 times a number. I know if I take 3 times 9, I get 27. So if I take 30 times 9, I would get 270. That's pretty close to 280. So we'll do 270, and that would leave me with 10 left over. So there's my number bond. 280 is made up of 270 and 10. Now when I go to my division, I'm asking how many groups of 30 I can get out of 2. Well, I can't get any out of 2, so I move that over. How many can I get out of 28? Well, I can't get any out of 28, so I move that over. How many groups of 30 can I get out of 280? Well, we already showed that it took 9 groups of 30 to get to 270. So I have 9 groups. I subtract that amount, 270. That leaves me with 10 as my remainder. Let's look at one more example. Here I have 643 divided by 80. So I'm trying to get close to 643, thinking of my multiples of 80. So again, I can think of 8 times some number and relate that to 80 times some number. Well, I know that 8 times 8 equals 64, so 80 times 8 would be 640. So I'm going to break my 643 into 640 and 3. Now when I do my division, how many groups of 80 can I get out of 6? Well, I can't get any out of 6, so I'll move that over. How many groups of 80 can I get out of 64? Still can't get any groups of 80, so I move that over. How many groups of 80 can I get out of 643? Well, we decided 80 times 8 was 640, so that's 8 groups. I'll subtract the 640, and I get that remainder of 3. So again, we use that number bond to help us narrow down the number of groups we can get out of each dividend.